Welcome to the Estate Professionals Mastermind Podcast, a podcast for estate professionals who earn more, work less, and make a huge difference in their communities. If you get value out of this free content, be sure to check out ProbateMastery.com, where you can get live classes, access to weekly coaching, and valuable courses. To learn more, visit ProbateMastery.com. Now let's jump into this week's content. I was stuck. My microphone and camera didn't seem to be wanting to work. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Estate Professionals Mastermind weekly coaching call. We do this every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. It's good to see some familiar faces here, guys. Good to see what would appear to be a few new faces as well. If you are brand new here, welcome. As I mentioned just a little bit ago, we do this every Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. We're here to answer your estate and probate building questions. So we're a group of realtors, real estate investors. We have some wholesalers here. Sometimes we get the attorneys and the others that are focused on building a business and providing more value in the estate niche. So if you're one of those professionals, and I'm going to say most of you guys are in the real estate business here. If you're looking to grow and expand your business, we want to hear your questions. I want to hear your wins and your success stories. Quick little commercial before I dive into a little bit of discussion today. This is a part of the Probate Mastery community. The vast majority of you guys already know that. So Probate Mastery is our certification course. If you are looking in the real estate space as an investor or an agent looking for a certification that's recognized around the country with professionals, it's called the Certified Probate Expert Designation. Then I want you guys to go check out the Probate Mastery certification course. It's 15 plus hours of on-demand training. We also do private and small group coaching for anyone that's interested in that. You can just jump over to ProbateMastery.com and check that out. I also want to encourage you guys that if you're here and you get value and you want to go back and listen to any past recordings, workshops, interviews, agent and investor success stories for free, go jump over onto our YouTube channel, Probate Mastery. And you can also listen to us in the car or at night while you're sleeping. Like I like to plug a earbud in while I'm sleeping. I don't know why, but it's a habit at this point. If you want to listen to a podcast, you can just go to your favorite podcast station and look up Estate Professionals Mastermind. So Estate Professionals Mastermind, that's the channel that we host all these calls on and our workshops and any agent interviews on. So YouTube is going to be Probate Mastery. Podcast is going to be Estate Professionals Mastermind. I do want to hear from some of you guys that have had either challenges or wins, or maybe you're looking to structure an advanced level deal or a brand new probate question. You've never been in this space and you're trying to get started. So I just kind of painted this picture and essentially said, if you have any of those questions or stories or victories that you want to talk about, go down to the bottom of your screen and click the reactions button. And there's a little bar on that reactions button that says raise hand. You can raise your hand. I will call on you. I want to hear from you guys, whether it's a story or a question. Okay, now, while I'm waiting on the questions to come in, and I don't want you guys waiting too long before you pop hands up, while I'm waiting on those, what I want to talk about today are what we're in a journey for. Winston, thank you for the birthday. I turned halfway to 90 yesterday, so I appreciate you looking out and wishing me a happy birthday, even though you're a day late. I'll remember. All right. So what I want to talk to you guys about today, before we go to Natalya, is that you have two missions in the estate and the probate space. Mission number one is make contact. You're not going to get any business in this space if you don't first establish contact. So if you're one of the folks that maybe is sitting on a bucket load of probate or estate records and you haven't been reaching out, through mail or marketing or phone calls and different things like that, you're missing the first key ingredient. But let me ask you guys what you think the second key ingredient is. So you've made contact. What happens? What's the next most important thing for you to establish when you're prospecting in the probate space? So I know Natalya probably either has a win or a question that's not related to this. So if I have anyone else that thinks that they know what the second most
Hello?
important thing to establish is, unmute yourself. Jose, credibility and trust. Very true. It's not exactly what I'm looking for, but it's still very true. You do need those things. What else?
Rapport.
Rapport. You absolutely need that. It is not the thing I'm looking for though. What else do you need? All right. If you have rapport, if you have rapport, if you have credibility, if you have trust, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with you? And David mentioned appointment, and that's also true. That's what we want, but we need something before we get that appointment. Because remember, a lot of these people are just starting out. A lot of times they're not ready for the appointment. Irving, what'd you say?
Follow up?
Follow up. Yeah, good. All right, motivation. All right, let me give you guys a little hint, and this is going to give it away really
Oh,
fast. One of our own. Go ahead, Irving. What?
Did you say Bernie?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to mute myself.
Oh, okay, okay, got it. All right, compassion. All these things are good. One of our own, one of our Probate Mastery alumni that's been through the course. He's in coaching right now. Came to one of our group coaching sessions on Monday, and he shared how he is personally in the middle of the probate process. It's an agonizing process, and it's kind of hard to see a friend go through it. He lost a loved one, filed probate last week, and he called me the day after he filed probate, and he said, "You'd be surprised. I already got 2 phone calls. I just filed yesterday. I already got 2 phone calls." And he said, "I'm a little bit nervous about being an agent on the other side." He said, "I'm worried that maybe I'm going to be too late because I'm getting my records a month, up to a month after they've petitioned for probate. And if I got 2 calls on day one or after the first day, am I going to be too late?" And my first thing that I said is, no, you're not going to be too late, because the odds that someone goes and files probate and is ready to sell a house tomorrow are very, very slim. It just doesn't really happen that way. And I said, but what I want to know is who called you and what kind of conversation did they have? And he said, I had a good conversation with both people. He did not tell them that he was in a probate specialist or certified probate expert. He wanted to hear what they were saying. And he said, I had a good conversation with both of them. And then I said, now here is, and this is going to give the second key ingredient away. Here's my question for you. I said, what were their names? What were the names of the 2 agents, investors that gave you a call? What do you guys think he said?
Can't remember.
Can't remember. All right. There's the second key ingredient. Yes, you have to make contact, but as important is you have to be remembered. You have to be remembered. I don't care who I'm competing with for the business. I care that I'm the person that's remembered and that I build the most credibility with the person. And so all of those other answers that you guys gave me, absolutely true. I think that all of those other answers are ingredients of memorability. They're just ingredients of memorability. Someone is very unlikely to remember, if they're not ready to go on day one, they're very unlikely to remember you based on 1 phone call. So what are some of the other things that you guys are doing to make yourself remembered along the path? let's say they're not going to sell for 5 or 6 months. What else are you going to do to make yourself remembered? And that's just a little nugget that I want to leave with you guys as we move on through this call. And as you guys have questions, if you want to either ask questions around that or talk about that particular topic, share what you're doing to be remembered, please pop your hand up. If you have other questions, you can throw your hand up there as well. Natalya's had her hand up since before, so it's probably not related to that, but let me have you unmute yourself and ask away or share away.
Well, yes, it's not related. This is actually a question well, it's not a question. I was talking to personal representative today, and he said that the property right now has the insurance claim on the roof. And they said, well, I don't know, how it will affect the sale of the property. So my question to you guys, how did you handle the insurance claims that been opened and haven't been closed?
I believe that those need to be closed before you sell. I would potentially have the seller speak to the insurance agent and find out if the claim is transferable. It's definitely possible that it's transferable if it's been through the approval process and it's just waiting on the work to be done. But 100% you need to find out who their representative is and have either have them have a conversation or have them authorize you to have that conversation with their insurance representative or agent. I would say if the claim is in and it's been approved, then it shouldn't matter if you close on the property and switch insurance as long as it's approved. But don't take my word for it. Either have them talk to the representative or agent or get authorization to speak with that agent yourself. Anybody else dealt with an issue like that? Pop your hand up. Would love to hear how you dealt with it. I haven't personally had that issue before. Anything else, Natalya, while we wait on others that have had that experience chime in? Or is that it? Is it for now?
That's it.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Bernie, what do you have? You are off mute. Can you hear me, Bernie?
Oh, yes, I can. I'm sorry.
Yep.
On Saturday, I went to about 12 homes to knock on doors. Half of the people were there, and it was really gratifying because I would have a little conversation with them. And then after I got back to my car, I made a note about things. And then Sunday, I sent postcards to the people I met with. I made a reference, like in one case, it's good that your son is helping you. I'd be happy to talk with him as well as you and answer any questions and concerns. Another woman told me two things that I said, anything I can help with. She says, well, yeah, my power washer's broken and it's a big one. I want to get it fixed. And the other one is my driveway needs some help. So in my postcard, I sent her leads to two different vendors that were appropriate to those things. So I'm really liking the idea of not cold calling, but cold knocking. And
Yeah.
in the knocking, I think I'm also meeting that objective of being more memorable, especially when I follow up with a postcard. The folks that were not home, I leave a door hanger that has a lot of information about what I do, but then I send a postcard and say, sorry, I missed you. And, I'd like to chat. So I feel like I'm on a good path with that. And for me, it's easier to relate to people when I'm speaking face to face.
Yeah. It's also much harder to reject you when you're face to face. I'll tell you guys, the same fear that some of you all fear that have when you're knocking on doors. Also, if you can power through that, the likelihood of having a good dialogue goes up significantly. Now, clearly, Bernie, you knocked on 12 doors or you got people to answer?
Well, I got about 6 or 7 that answered. Only one woman was furious, like, how dare you? You people are all trying to steal my property and stuff like that. And I still
Okay.
sent her a card and said, I really apologize. I had no intention of,
Yeah.
doing that. And, but if there's anything you have as a question, please don't hesitate to call me. So
Yep.
I'm feeling the postcards are a nice little way to follow up on the visits.
So your postcards were personalized. Did you like handwrite a
Yes,
message on
I
there?
had a postcard made that on the front has my information, but on the back is blank. And so I handwrite their address, I handwrite my note, and I try to make it as relevant to our meeting as possible.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, I really love the fact that you went out and door knocked. People that call for 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, and they don't get 6 or 7 people to answer the phone. I'm not telling you guys don't call. Please, nobody say Bruce said don't call. I'm saying you do call, but Bernie knocked on 12 doors and had 6 or 7 engagements. You're not going to get a 50% engagement rate on the phone unless you call a bunch of times.
And I canceled my appointments today, calling, virtual assistant calling, because they were not calling in a time zone for the Pacific Coast that
Sure.
worked for me, and they weren't doing it on Saturdays. And I feel like Saturdays is a good day to go door knocking. It's more
Yeah.
likely to have people there. And I go to both the home of the deceased and see who's there, and then I also have a personal representative, may be a different address. I go to those. And sometimes on pre-provos, I have some of the relatives that are in my area. So I pick all three categories to knock on, but I group them. I put them on postcards and then group them by zip code and then work one zip code at a time, essentially.
Hmm. Great. I love it. Last thing I'll kind of mention to you on door knocking. I know of people that have built their business on door knocking. It's a great way to build your business. One thing, you're leaving a door hanger. I
Yes.
want you to consider and test. Okay. Don't just go all in on this without testing it, but maybe test next time you knock instead of leaving a door hanger. Um, leave a post-it note, just a sticky note.
Okay.
Hey, I'm looking for Tom. This is Bernie. Can you call me? Here's my number.
Okay.
Pretty generic.
Yeah.
That when they don't answer will get a pretty high callback rate. Now, they're generally going to be pretty suspicious, but so is anyone that answers the phone or answers the door anyway.
Yeah.
So that'll get, and then if they don't call back, I would probably leave a door hanger on my second door knock.
In one case, nobody was there, and the neighbor from across the street came over and said, "Anything I can help with?" He says, "I have a key," and I explained to him, and we had a long conversation. And I actually sent the postcard to him because
Yeah.
he's obviously someone that the owner, who's in Half Moon Bay, whose parents' home, his mother's home, is there, and. The neighbor told me, oh, he already told me it's going to take a long time. And I talked to him about, yeah, it's at least a year, possibly 2 years in probate. And so I gave him a lot of pointers about have him check the insurance, about a vacancy rider, and just the neighbor was good to talk to because he was not trying to get rid of me. He was interested.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. I like the neighbors. Sometimes they're quick to share.
yeah,
So, and they're an advocate for you too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea of the post-it notes, would you have those pre-printed with a handwriting style? No.
No, I would just it would just be a yellow sticky note for me, kind of a bigger size yellow sticky note, but I don't put a lot of verbiage on there. It's just, I'm looking for blank. This is my first name, Bernie. Can you call me? Here's my phone number. Nothing more. It's strictly a curiosity play.
Cool.
Yep. All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Now, use your door hangers, but I would use those provided the sticky notes start working for you. I would use those on the second visit to a property. Now, if the sticky notes don't work for you, if you leave 6 and nobody calls you back, or I wouldn't do it with just 6. But let's say over time you left 20, nobody calls you back, then it's safe to say, hey, this isn't working. Maybe I'll do a door hanger next time.
I actually agree with you that it's more likely to generate a call. I
Mhm.
thought my postcard would be the thing gets attention. The other kind of describes what I do, but the door hanger is more like handing a brochure. All of the
Yeah.
peoples I talked with, I handed a brochure.
Hmm.
That seemed good.
Yeah. Good. I like it. All right. Good
Thank
job,
you.
Bernie. Now you want to get that package out later. Once you've had that conversation, I think that's a perfect person to send your package to.
Okay.
All right. Hey, TJ, let me bring you up. Hold on one second. Add a pin here. Go for it. What do you have, man?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to respond to Natalia about the roof situation. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, where hail damage is quite a thing. So I've had
Mhm.
several transactions where either on the buy or sell side, we've had to make a claim once we're under contract and get the roof replaced. So it's definitely doable. Of course, it depends on the insurance company and how much they're willing to pay out. I've learned quite a bit that some insurance companies never want to pay out, and other insurance companies don't ask any questions, they just pay out. But it's a great opportunity to, as we're building our vendor list, to reach out to a local roofer. Make sure it's a local guy, not somebody that's they call them storm chasers, or that are just kind of coming around in like a fly by night operation. A
Mhm.
good local company, because they have, most of the time the local companies have relationships with all the local insurance adjusters, because they're all like regional. So they have really good rapport with them. And then that's how I've operated in that area, especially with the roofs, is just have the roof guy talk to the insurance adjuster, and they can often move things along. So it solves a couple of problems. It solves the getting the roof situation taken care of. And it also helps you build relationships with a vendor. And if you're given that roofer business, then when he comes across somebody who's in a probate situation and you're the probate person, then you're going to get the business from them, in a perfect world. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that yeah, I've had several transactions where the roof became an issue, like during the home inspection it came up, and then either had to be repaired or in some
Mhm.
instances completely replaced, and it might delay closing just a little bit, but usually I mean, most roofers should be able to strip the old roof and put the new roof on in one day. So
Yeah.
as long as, yeah,
Yeah.
just want to throw that out.
Good advice. Natalia, I brought you up. Go ahead. Do you have any follow-up questions on that for TJ? Your hand was
Yeah.
also up.
No, this is for the burning. I did not knock several doors as well. Have some experience. What I find out why it's good idea to knock on the doors, because sometimes you will find that some of the properties already been managed by a real estate agent, because you see the log boxes already there. So eliminates the part of calling those people because it's already gone pretty much. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things. My question to you is about this yellow note. So if somebody calls back to you, how would you know? So did you ask them as that, oh, are you calling me on my note? I mean, how the conversation progress once they call you back?
Yeah. Yeah, this is Bruce. Bruce, I was giving you a call about this note you left on my door. Um, oh, hey, I left. I put a note on a couple of people's doors. What's your name? Which property? Yeah, or which house? I might do that, or they might say this is they. Hopefully, they identify themselves, and if they identify themselves, then I'm just keeping a little notebook with the names and the addresses that I stopped by, and I'm hoping they identify themselves.
Gotcha.
Yeah, listen, I had swung by the house earlier. If you don't mind, I just wasn't really sure how to reach out or how to connect. I'd stopped by because I noticed that your family and property was kind of going through a probate process, and I really help with that process with resources and connections in the area. I basically just wanted to let you know what I did and introduce myself, find out if there was anything that you need. Is there, or do you think you have everything handled? Okay, now you guys, I think the bulk of you all know that I like to give them the permission to say I have it handled. My style is to actually bait them into telling me they have it handled because that's my path to ask about real estate. So if they say it's my path for two things. Number one, it's my path to send them a package in the mail. So if they say we have it handled, I say, great. I don't go, hey, you're wrong. I don't even imply that they're wrong. By the way, they are wrong. They don't have it handled, especially if they're early in the probate process. There's a million things that are going to come up that they're not even ready for. But I still bait them into saying they have it handled. Because then I can say, I'll tell you what, I'll just drop some information in the mail to you. I want you to give it a review, keep it, and call me if there's anything that you need. Is that fair? Like, no reasonable person is going to say, no, that's not fair. No reasonable person. Unreasonable people will. And we have a percentage of our leads are unreasonable people, but it's not a big percentage. So you'll get a lot of, yeah, that's fine. And then I say, hey, once probate's over, is the property something that you guys are going to maybe sell, or are you just not sure yet? And I always give them a chance to say, we don't know yet. Why? Because that means they're going to sell. So essentially, when I ask the real estate question, I'm saying, in my mind, I'm saying, are you going to sell the house? Yes or yes. Now, they don't hear that. They don't hear yes or yes. They hear, are you going to sell, or are you not sure? So I'm kind of baiting them into telling me what's really going to happen. And that's how I'd handle that incoming call. Hopefully they introduce themselves and they give me a name. I was over at my house on 123 Main Street. I'm hoping they do that. If they don't, hey, you'll have to forgive me. I stopped by 2 or 3 houses today. I'm just not sure which who you are, which property. I'm not going to say I left a dozen of those out. I stopped by 2 or 3 houses today. I'm just not sure which house you're at. That's if you just don't have anything, if they didn't give you any identifiers.
Yeah, in my case, if somebody calls me back, I say, well, the reason I was calling to find out if the estate is planning to sell the property.
Sure.
Well,
That's fine.
and then they hang up on me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I introduce myself as being someone that provides resources and connections to help with probate first. That's the whole reason that I do that. And then I quickly give them the ability to say that they don't need anything. Like
Gotcha.
I feel like if the person has the permission in the room to say, yes, I don't need anything, then it takes away their desire, their urge to hang up. So I try to, rather than hang up, I try to give them the ability to say, yes, I don't need anything, because now I can move the call a little further along. All right, cool. Jose, let's pull you up. Give me 1 second. I'm trying, for the sake of YouTube, to add pins to everyone that I've so that you're not just a teeny tiny little square on the YouTube video later.
Got it.
Yeah.
Am I
All
good
right,
to
what do you
go?
got?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was, to add to what she was saying in regards to, what do you say? What do when they call back? I basically say, in terms of you probably have a lawyer that's handling the legal part of the probate process. Me and my team, we handle the in the field step of the process, which is like, the real property, the estate sales, clean out, rehab if you intend to keep the property, or even any other type of clean out that you need for the property. And is there some sort of checklist? And this is the question: is there some sort of checklist that I could then send to them as a value add to say, and by the way, I do have a checklist which goes above and beyond what the lawyer is going to handle, just so that you could be, well prepared as far as what are the next steps that you're going to have to go through. is there some sort of checklist that you've put together that kind of summarizes the things that they're going to have to see? And then with that list, it kind of like brings it full circle, like, wow, I have a lot on my plate, and this guy potentially already has a handle on what I'm going to be facing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Going into chat right now for everyone. There's a probate checklist that is kind of templated, still needs some design. If anyone needs the design help, I use a fella named Danny Atkinson in Dallas for that. I'm gonna pop his email in if anyone wants to kind of customize the checklist. But I did just put it in. My checklist is about 2 pages long. Most of it is pretty universal. There's going to be from state to state a couple of things that you guys should look at and just make sure that I didn't put something on there that's not applicable in your state. But my checklist will cover the majority of states, and it doesn't get into a lot of detail. So I don't say, hey, you have 90 days to run your first newspaper advertisement. You have to run your newspaper advertisement for 75 days. If you have an estate that's worth less than $50,000, you don't have to file probate. I don't put things like that on there because for you guys, because those are North Carolina specific. So I tried to leave a few things off, and I want you all to customize just a little bit more than I have here. Bottom line, even if you don't customize, it's still wildly helpful. It's a great magnet to get somebody to opt into your marketing and for follow-up.
Awesome.
By the way, Jose,
Yes, sir.
what you just did with your the callback and talking about how I'm sure you have an attorney and the lawyer handles this and we handle that. Amazing. You took away the objection that you were probably, I'm guessing in the beginning, you were probably hearing the attorney objection all the time. Hey, is there
Yeah.
anything I can help with? No, my attorney's got it handled. I would much rather overcome the objection before they vocalized it than after they vocalized it. If they vocalize an objection and you're like, oh crap, they told me they have an attorney. Now I got to get over this hurdle. Now I've got to handle it. That comes across to them as argumentative. What Jose did with that is he took it off the table before they ever even brought up that they have an attorney, took it off the table. Hey, I'm sure you have an attorney that's handling this. Let me tell you what we do. Brilliant, beautiful. I'm glad that you brought that up because a lot of people, that's the objection that a lot of people don't know how to get around. And if they do know how to get around it, they might say the right things, but it just comes across as combative and argumentative once somebody has given you that objection and then you're like, no, actually you're wrong. You don't have it. Your attorney's not doing everything for you. They don't like that. It's not a good way to build rapport. So appreciate that, Jose.
Thanks. It's in the list is in the chat.
Yep, the checklist is in chat.
Okay.
All right.
I
See
don't
it?
see it.
No.
I'll
How
click
about
again.
everybody else? Do you guys see it? I got a couple of hearts on it.
I do, yeah.
Okay,
Download,
let's
no issues.
make sure that it went to everyone. Yeah, should have gone to everyone. And dig around. I'm gonna put it in here. Put it in here one more time just in case it only came through for a few people. And I gotta find an email address for Danny, and I'll put that into chat here in a quick second as well. All right, guys. So by the way, the checklist is a great tool to be remembered. So remember, we need to be remembered. That's the second piece of our mission and our objective is not only to make contact, but make contact that they remember and keep. I go so far with mail marketing. If I do mail to people, I go so far as to say, hey, if you don't need any of this now, please put it to the side and keep this letter. Call me if anything comes up. I'll tell people, keep this. Because their temptation a lot of times is, I don't need this right now. Let me get rid of it. Let me throw it away. And I find that sometimes just telling them keep this causes them to set it aside and keep it. It makes you more memorable. All right. Good deal, everybody. What other questions do we have? Any other success stories or wins? Otherwise, I'm going to dig through the audience here and I'm going to pick on someone and ask for an update on your business. All right. Who else? TJ, let's get an update from you, man.
Sure. Yeah. So it's going pretty well. I've been really focused on attorney relationships,
Mhm.
which has been helpful in the way I do it is I have approached my local library and connected with the adult. I'm not sure exactly what her title is, but the adult education
Mm-hmm.
person that they set up things for classes for adults to come in, and there's a children's one, and then there's an adult one. So she has developed really a partnership with her, and she loves me coming in. I've done home buying seminars there, and I've been doing estate planning with an attorney, and then probate specific. I'm still kind of like experiment testing out which seminar like works the best and gets the most response.
Mm-hmm.
People love the estate planning one. I think a lot of people, when I just do probate focused ones, people come and they think it's estate planning anyway. So a mixture of the two seems to work. But what's great about it is I reach out to attorneys and I get conversations with attorneys and I say, hey, would you be willing to do a seminar with me? I have this venue that at the library, and I talk about, the library is the building where people go to get knowledge, and so we have that like instant credibility and authority, and it
Yeah.
seems to work very well. So I sent out I send out postcards, and this works amazingly. It looks like it comes from the library. I don't know if you guys get like voter cards in the mail from your state or your local government, but it's just a very plain. It looks like old typewriter text. There's no graphics or anything on it. I just have a QR code to sign up for the event. And the lawyer that I did it last with, actually, somebody took my postcard and contacted him, like sought him out and went and hired him to do estate planning for him.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
he's like determined to get me. He's like the next person that needs an agent. He's like, you're the guy, absolutely. So it's like it's a slow roll, but once you get to that tipping point,
Mm-hmm.
it like things will start to come as long as you stay consistent with getting into it. I struggled, and I still do occasionally. I think everybody does with like, what if I'm doing all this work, like, is it going to pay off?
Yeah.
And it really and then you just focus on your leading indicators of like, am I getting building relationships with attorneys? Yes. Am I getting in front of people that have a need for estate planning at least, and or probate and all that? And that answer is yes there. So it's starting to really build, which is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
And of course,
absolutely.
I just got under contract with a probate to distress property, and that's been quite an experience. It's the most difficult I've experienced so far, just
Mm-hmm.
because there's 5 different heirs. They all have different mothers, and one of the heirs has passed, and he has 2 children with different mothers who need conservatorship and all that stuff. So it's pretty interesting to learn how to navigate all that. It just sets you up every time you do one. It sets you up. You learn something that sets you up for the next one anytime it comes up. So
That's right.
I guess I could talk all day if you want, but I'll stop right there.
Well, I really like that you talked about the slow roll of it.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go ahead and let everybody know that sometimes you've got to climb, and you're climbing to the top of this mountain, and at the top of the mountain, things get real easy. And sometimes you're rolling the stone up the mountain, and you can't necessarily see where the top is. because you're pushing this
Mhm.
stone up the mountain. And then all of a sudden, one day you reach this tipping point where it just runs. It just rolls. First, several people that were in our coaching program. So for those that I think most of you guys know, if you don't know, we started a coaching program 8-9 months ago, somewhere in that range. And the first bunch of people in there, we gave key performance activities to. And those key performance activities were cold calls, were time blocks to work on your business systems. So on your business systems are creating your drip campaigns and your postcards and your mailers and your websites and your videos and things like that. So you've got time blocks in your week for creating systems and assets for your business. And then the rest of it is like actual direct to consumer activity. So cold calls, door knocks, leads added to pipeline, attorneys you've had conversations with, vendors you've added to your team, follow-up notes, things like that. So all of those things are worth a certain value to your business. And I gave a point value to all those things. And we had maybe 10 or 11 people that came into that first wave of people that were in the coaching program. And I noticed out of the 10 or 11, three hit 150 points per week consistently. Okay. There were 7 or 8 people that didn't hit 150 points per week consistently. The 3 that did, there were a bunch of people that got close, but those that hit 150 points, their businesses hockey sticked. They went from 1 or 2 deals a month to a couple of people had to quit coaching. Okay. Why? Because they were on 6 and 7 appointments every week to list or buy houses in probate. In probate. And it was all because they hit that tipping point, which based on kind of this algorithm that I set up was 150 points. And 150 points based on the point value I give to these activities is what it takes to explode your business. And everybody else was doing points and getting value and doing the right things, but they were getting close. And 150, it would stop being hard. You'd stop pushing the rock uphill. It would start rolling downhill on you. And as long as you keep your 150. So I thought that was pretty valuable and very pertinent to what TJ was just talking about. Is a slow roll. Sometimes you've got to push for a little while. I was looking at my personal leads yesterday, and I realized that over the past 6 weeks, we've identified 85 probate leads that are going to sell a house. And out of this it's been 6 weeks to identify those people, and the majority of them have said things like, "Yeah, we just don't know yet," which to me, you're going to sell a house. Okay, so that to me is a warm lead, even if it's not, "Hey, I'm going to sell. Here's my time frame. I'm going to give you a chance." It's still a warm lead because I know how to read between the lines. So 85 people. So I just know that it takes 4 or 5 months of filling that pipeline with warm prospects before you can start consistently pulling deals out of it. So 4 to 5 months. And during that 4 to 5 months, you're going to be loading people into your pipeline. I had a conversation. They might sell. I had a conversation. They said they're not ready yet. I had a conversation. They said they don't know. They've got to talk to the family. Every single one of those is a yes, this is going to be a seller later. You fill the pipeline, you fill the pipeline, you fill the pipeline. And right now, I'm super excited about having 85 warm leads. If you would have asked me 8 years ago how I'd feel about it, I've been calling for 6 weeks. I've got 85 people that have indicated they're going to sell. I don't have a deal. I would have said, what the hell is wrong with this list? There's something wrong with this list. What's wrong with why are these people not moving? Now I look at it and I get really excited because I know that at the 5-month mark, that list starts to trickle business out. And at the 8-month mark, more starts to fall out of it. And the 12-month mark, lots more start to fall out of it. And so our goal is to fill our list up. And that's it. It's the slow build. And as it fills up and as you continue to do the activities, you're going to get business. If you're remembered. If you're remembered. All right. What other questions do we have, guys? Other questions, success stories? What do we have? David, I see your hand. Go ahead, unmute yourself, man. It's been a little while. David is one of the 150 point people. David, it's been a little while. What's going on?
It's been a while. Just thought I'd give you an update and touch base on a few different of the aspects that you're asking for updates on. So I just closed a probate yesterday. So that's good. Wasn't the easiest. In Hawaii, a lot of times we have issues with title. We have a lot of buyers and sellers that are out of the country and out of the state. We have unique tax situations and things like that. So I'd like to think that Hawaii is a little more challenging than some of the other states, but got to close nonetheless. And then I have 2 more in the pipeline that are set to close this week. So, so yeah, the coaching's really helped. And with the attorneys, so I just now finally that bear fruit on the attorney deal. So I have an attorney that's sending me referrals now, and he sent me 3 in an outer area all at once. So I ended up getting 3 attorney referrals. So
Outstanding.
yeah, so it's picking up, and yeah, it's doing well. And as far as like being remembered, I do something really simple, and a lot of my stuff's, with the phone. I don't do a lot of mail or door knocking. Although I think those are great methods and been meaning to work on those more. But just after I talk to someone within the next few minutes, I send them a text. And then also I tell them about the nonprofits that I support and the nonprofit work that I'm a part of. And I think that also sets me apart. So I'll share like a few awards for real estate, and then a picture of my family, a little bit of my background, and then the nonprofit work. So then I share with them, I say, so when you partner with me, you also help the community. And it's just something I kind of made up and just threw in there and wasn't sure if it would work. But actually, 2 of my clients said the reason that they're working with me versus someone else is because of the nonprofit aspect. And they felt like that was key for them. That really resonated with them, and there was a connection.
I love it. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
that's a big memorability booster right there. Because you're not just at that point, you're not just a voice on the phone that wanted to buy a house,
Yeah.
right?
And then I have 2 more probates that should be in escrow soon. And then I have another 6 more people that said they're going to list with me coming up in the next couple weeks. So
Awesome.
that's right. All thanks to Bruce and his coaching. So if you're on the sidelines about the coaching thing, time to make a difference and go for it. And yeah, when I'm plugging away through the coaching, I mean, all of those things go through my mind, like, is it gonna be worth it? Is anything gonna happen? And then sure enough, yeah, it
It
works.
does. It does, but you have to keep pushing the boulder up the hill.
For
And
sure.
every now and then you'll hit a little bit of a downhill dip, and you'll go, oh, it's working, and then you're pushing uphill again. So there's definitely some business that comes in quickly. There's times when, hey, I got my list yesterday. I sent 1 letter out. I got a call next week, listing a house. And that always makes me nervous, though. That happens. And I want you guys to know that there's low-hanging fruit in this niche. And the low-hanging fruit makes me a little bit nervous because it usually sets the expectation that business is easy, and then you quit doing the actual work of building your business. So I want you guys, even if you have good success, I want you to do the work, even in the middle of success. Do the work that's going to get you to predictable success.
Yeah, and what I found with those people that I get really quick, I have to spend a lot of time with them because I'm building credibility. The people that are like, oh yeah, I'll list with you right away. For some reason, I really have to engage and just focus on them because I'm building credibility along the way, I guess. Yeah, so like for instance, three of the last ones that I got super fast, two of them, two of them threatened to back out of the deal for whatever reason. And I had to talk them back into the deal.
Okay.
And I did. I talked them back in the deal
Yeah.
and we closed, but it was like scary. And it was two on the same day. So I got them really fast. I'm like, okay, hey, I'll be at your house right away. Boom, at their house. Next thing you know, they're signing the thing. And then they're like, oh my gosh, this is moving so fast. And then we
Yeah.
go along the way. And then somewhere along the way, they call me and they go, I don't know what just happened. It's happened so fast. And I
Yeah.
don't know if we're ready to sell right now or like I'm having my doubts. And then I have to like explain to them why like now's the time to sell
Mm-hmm.
and talk them back into it. And it happened twice. But I ended up getting three listings, just boom, boom, boom. And they were all really quick. Like got them on the phone, went to the property, got the listing. But then like I said, two out of three had second guesses. And so yeah, anyway, that's my experience with that.
Bruce, could I ask David a question?
Yeah, please.
Hey, Bernie, nice to see you. And David, wow, congratulations. That's about 10 deals or a listing is kabam. That's like a tidal wave. Did you say you're in Hawaii? Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow, cool. What island?
Oahu.
Oh, fantastic. So I wanted to ask you, what percentage of your business, David, do you think you're getting, on the phone as opposed to, sending out mailers? I'm only on the phone these days, and I'm getting probably one listing every couple months, so it's not a lot. What comments do you have
Are
for?
you in Hawaii as well?
I'm in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh yeah, for me it's all phone. I don't do any mail.
So
Yeah,
it's
and
all
I need
phone
to do
calls.
mail. I mean I should do mail, but I don't.
And how many contacts per day would you say to your probates?
You know what? For me, it's just it hasn't been a steady flow. I'm definitely not doing the ideal.
Hmm.
I tend to do a sprint and then just I do a couple days and I just do really well for a week or two. And then stuff starts snowballing in. Like I'm not the perfect example. I'm the guy that goes like this and then like goes like this and like goes. So I want to be this guy. That's why I do coaching with Bruce. I want to be the steady state guy that just keeps the pipeline going nice and steady, but I'm not. So I just work really hard and then I get slammed with a bunch of business and then I end up having to focus on that business and yeah. So but it's all phone. I don't do any
How
mail.
many contacts you do a day, Bruce?
Congratulations.
Um, you know, my ideal is
Hold on.
really simple and I'm going to give
David,
away the goods.
are you still using a VA or ISA?
No, I got rid of some
Okay.
of my VAs and ISAs. I do
Because I
use
know one
one
did really well at
sporadically.
first.
I do use one sporadically.
Yeah.
One ISA.
Got it.
And but yeah, just calls. So here's something that I like to do just to hold myself accountable is I'll make sure that I have 15 conversations a day minimally. And then 5 people I know, 5 people I don't know, and 5 people I work with.
That's good.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And most of the don't knows are those typically probate?
Yeah.
Yeah. So goal of 5 conversations. In my experience, 5 conversations will typically identify 2, okay, between 1.5 and 2 going to sales. Okay, so if you're having, and I'm not sure if this is what you're seeing, David, but if you have 5 conversations with probate leads, you'll find 1.5 or 2 of them per day that give you a selling signal. So I want you guys to kind of recognize that it's somewhere in the vicinity, depends on how much you're filtering your list, but somewhere in the vicinity of 35% of any given probate list has a house that's going to be sold. And it's your job to learn how to guide the conversation to the point where you get the answer on whether it's going to be sold. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the call. That answer is very, very rarely, yeah, we're going to sell the house. Here's our time frame. Very rare. It's almost always, we don't know, haven't decided yet. So those 2 out of 5 conversations, the 2 that I find that I think are going to sell and I add to my hot list, at least half of them, if not both of them, will have said, don't know yet. And I want you guys to know that's a seller. Almost every time that's a seller. Why are they saying they don't know? Are they lying? Possibly. Possibly. It depends on how you set the question up. Most likely they're not lying. They're just dealing with other stuff. They haven't thought about it. They don't want to make a decision for the family. It's too early. They got a pile of paperwork and taxes on their desk. Okay, they have other things. So when they say, I don't know, or it's too early, it's generally true, but it does not mean that they're not going to sell real estate. That's where you being able to step in and offer other services is really going to help with your rapport, your credibility, and build value. So being more than just I want to buy your dead relative's house. And I hate to put it like that, but that's how some people come off. One of my agents in my office years ago, and we let this agent go. He went across the street. He woke up one morning and there was a wake across the street. His neighbor had died. And he walked across the street and he said, I know the wife. And I knocked on her door and she came to the door and it's in the middle of the wake. Okay. There's a crowd there. They're condoling her. And he gives her his business card and said, you're going to be needing me soon, aren't you? Okay. Now that's an egregious affront. Okay. That's sick, ridiculous. Here's what I want to put in your all's head, not to scare you. Don't be scared. I want to put in your head that some people want to think that that's what you're doing, even if it's not. So you need to be skilled at being able to open up a conversation and move through a conversation without sounding like you're just chasing real estate. You're just chasing an ambulance. You're just chasing a hearse. Okay. Yes, we want business out of this niche. But before we get any of that, we have to provide a service and we have to provide value to the audience and the community. And if you are truly skilled at having those conversations, the sky's the limit. The sky is absolutely the limit for your business. But you can't come across like an ambulance chaser. And I know no one here would shove a business card in a grieving widow's face and say, guess you're going to be needing me soon. At least I hope not. If you would, either change or get off of the call. Okay, if that's not you, then you owe it to your clients and yourself to learn how to navigate your conversations. So greatly appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys so much. We are at the top of the hour. I don't see any other questions, so I'll let you guys go for the day. We'll be back here same time next week. Tuesday, that's 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 o'clock Pacific time. Please go out, practice, put some role play, make some calls, put some marketing together, be remembered. I want you to come back here next week and share any success stories or wins or questions that you might have that you came into. And if you went out and you tried something and it didn't work, come back and tell us what you tried. No greater way of learning than to try something that doesn't work. Okay, I want you guys to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to challenge you guys to go try something that doesn't work. Don't make it not work on purpose. But if you're not doing something that you failed at, then you're not doing enough. So go do something that you have a little tiny risk of failing at. And then we'll talk about making adjustments next week on the coaching call. And if you have not gotten certified with your certified probate expert designation, you want to take our 15-hour probate mastery class, jump over to probatemastery.com and hope to see you guys in class someday. Greatly appreciate everybody being here, though. See you soon.